The detention cell hummed with the low frequency of containment fields as Lisa sat cross-legged on the cold metal floor, her brown hair falling loosely around her shoulders. To the Vraxian guards monitoring her through the transparent barrier, she appeared utterly ordinary, a young human female, perhaps 20 standard cycles old, wearing simple civilian clothing. Nothing about her suggested she was anything more than an unfortunate bystander caught in the wrong sector, at the wrong time. Commander Thexelar, a towering Vraxian with chitinous purple armor and 4 segmented arms, observed her with his compound eyes. His species had conquered 17 star systems, and in his 3 decades of service he had processed thousands of detainees. This human girl didn't even register as a threat. Subject exhibits no enhanced biological markers, reported Lieutenant Kasara, a lithe Zenthari whose silvery scales shimmered under the harsh lighting. Her scanner displayed nothing unusual. Standard human physiology, no cybernetic implants, no weapon signatures. Then why? Thexelar clicked his mandibles in frustration. Did Central Intelligence flag her pod approaching our station? Before Kasara could respond, the main hangar doors hissed open. Max strode in, his footsteps echoing with deliberate confidence. The young human man wore a pilot's jacket adorned with patches from a dozen different systems, his dark eyes scanning the room with calculated precision. "I'm here for the girl," Max announced, his hands visible and empty. 3 particle rifles immediately trained on him. Thexelar's mandibles spread in what his species considered a smile. "Another human. How convenient. You'll join her in detention." "I don't think so," Max replied calmly. "That's Lisa Chen. Do you know who she is?" "An unremarkable human civilian," Thexelar stated flatly. Max actually laughed. "Right. And I'm sure your intelligence briefing mentioned nothing about Earth's Apex program?" The compound eyes of the Vraxian commander narrowed. Kasara's scales darkened. A Zenthari stress response. Behind them, a third guard, a gelatinous quarian named Blooptar, quivered nervously. "The Apex program is a myth," Thexelar insisted, though his voice carried less certainty. "Human propaganda designed to inflate your species' reputation." "Is it?" Max crossed his arms. "Tell me, Commander, what do you actually know about human evolution?" Inside the cell, Lisa remained motionless, but a small smile played at the corner of her lips. Thexelar's patience was wearing thin. "I know that humans are a young species, adequate reflexes, moderate strength, unremarkable across all metrics. Your only advantage is your reckless persistence." "That's what most species think," Max acknowledged. "Because that's what we let them think. But here's the truth. Earth isn't just another garden world. Our planet tried to kill us for 3 million years. We evolved alongside apex predators while being prey ourselves. We developed pursuit predation. We can track and chase prey for days until it dies of exhaustion. We're one of the only species in the galaxy that can survive almost anywhere, eat almost anything, and adapt to nearly any environment." Kasara's scanner suddenly chirped an alarm. Her eyes widened as new data flooded her display. "And the Apex program," Max continued, his voice dropping, "takes the most exceptional of us and makes them better. Enhanced neuroplasticity, accelerated healing, reflexes that border on precognition, pattern recognition that can predict outcomes before they happen, all wrapped in a package that looks completely, utterly normal." "You're insane," Thexelar hissed, but his grip on his weapon had tightened. "Lisa," Max called out, not taking his eyes off the commander. "Show them." The young woman finally moved. She stood in one fluid motion that seemed to defy physics. There was no preparatory crouch, no shift of weight. One moment sitting, the next standing, as if gravity had simply agreed to cooperate. "Containment field strength?" she asked casually. "Class 7 barrier," Max replied. "Rated to hold a Vraxian shock trooper." Lisa's smile widened. "Adequate." What happened next lasted exactly 2.3 seconds, though it would be debated in Galactic defense briefings for years afterward. Lisa's eyes tracked the 7 weak points in the containment field's harmonics. Vulnerabilities that the Vraxians didn't even know existed because no species had ever thought to look for them. Her brain processed angles, force vectors, and energy distributions faster than the station's tactical computer. She moved. Her shoulder struck the field at precisely the right frequency to create a cascade failure. The barrier flickered, and in that microsecond window, she was through. Her hand caught the particle rifle from the nearest guard before he could process that she'd moved. A spinning kick disarmed Kasara, while simultaneously using the Zenthari's own body as a pivot point to redirect Bluptar's weapon harmlessly into the ceiling. By the time Thexelar's compound eyes had fully registered the motion, Lisa stood in the center of the room, 3 particle rifles disassembled on the floor around her and not a single guard injured, just thoroughly disarmed and absolutely speechless. "The truth about humans," Lisa said conversationally as if she hadn't just moved faster than supposedly possible, "is that we're a species of survivors. We're not the strongest or the fastest in the galaxy. We're just the ones who refuse to quit. And some of us," she gestured to herself with a modest shrug, "have been optimized to be very, very good at surviving." Max walked calmly past the stunned guards to stand beside Lisa. "So, Commander, we can do this the easy way. You let us leave, and we forget this ever happened. Or we can do it the hard way, where we file a diplomatic incident report, and Earth's military attaché asks some uncomfortable questions about why you detained one of our assets." Thexelar's mandibles clicked rapidly, the Vraxian equivalent of nervous laughter. The easy way. Definitely the easy way." As Lisa and Max walked toward the exit, Kasara finally found her voice. "How many others like her exist?" Max glanced back with an enigmatic smile. "Enough. More than enough." The hangar doors sealed behind them, leaving 3 guards to contemplate a terrifying revelation. Humanity wasn't just another species in the galaxy. They were survivors who had turned survival into an art form, and the ones who looked most ordinary were often the most dangerous. Commander Thexelar would file his report, flagging Lisa Chen's profile with the highest priority warning. But the real message would spread through unofficial channels, whispered in trading posts and military briefings across a dozen systems. Never underestimate a human. Especially the quiet ones.